What's going on, guys? Back today to talk about the Toce exhaust license plate mounting bracket. Now, if you have one of these, you know that really the only place to mount your license plate is the bracket that they give you with the kit, and it mounts directly underneath. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem, but when you have the bike stretched and lowered, when the bracket is in the position it's supposed to be, the license plate sits very, very close to the wheel. Now, what I did was I had the bracket bent almost completely up to give myself some clearance for the tire, and because the bike sits so low, it's a small bike, it wasn't hard to read the license plate, so I wouldn't, get in trouble from the cops because they couldn't see my license plate. It was bent up enough where it was out of the way of the wheel if I hit any bumps, but still visible because the bike sits down so low. But I came across some pictures online of someone that had the license plate mounted behind the exhaust. And I couldn't figure out what bracket it was, what they were using to accomplish this. So I found him on Instagram. It was a tagged photo of the guy's bike on Instagram. So I talked to the guy, sent him a message, and come to find out, he sent me a bunch of photos close up of what he had done. It is actually the bracket for the TST Industries fender eliminator kit, which I already have. Now, this is not the bracket that they send you if you buy the Toce kit, because if you buy the TST eliminator kit with the Toce exhaust, they automatically include in the kit the Toce specific license plate mount. But this one actually works. You are going to have to modify this and bend it a little bit, but you can see that it does actually fit right in these bolt holes, and that's how the guy had it bolted in. So TST Industries was actually nice enough. I called him and I said, listen, I just need the bracket. I was like, I need to mount with the Toce exhaust. And of course they're like, well, that's you can. The only bracket that works with the Toce exhaust is the one provided. I'm like, no. So I explained to them how it works with their other mount, and they were nice enough to just send me the mount without the whole kit. Because if you buy the whole kit with the bracket, the hardware, and all this other stuff, it's like 35 bucks, and you're looking at shipping. It's like 40 bucks plus just for a license plate bracket. I'm like, help me out here. So they actually were able to just sell me the license plate bracket for 15 bucks plus shipping. So I'm like 20 bucks into this thing, which is a lot better than, 40 bucks plus. So let's just do this, get it done, and hopefully it goes pretty quick. So as this thing sits right now, I need to bend the bracket itself down, because otherwise the license plate will just be straight down like this. Now that definitely would get me into some trouble with the cops, I think. So what I'm gonna have to do is, from the pictures that I got from the guy, I gotta bend it, put a bend here to bring this piece down. That way when it goes here, I can mount it. I can mount it this way, which gives it just makes it more visible. Hopefully I get it right on the first try, because otherwise that's 20 bucks down the drain and I gotta buy another one. So this is proving to be a little harder than anticipated. I gotta put two bends, right? So bending completely backwards, the original bend, right? Easy enough here. But then I gotta take the top part of the bracket while maintaining that bend it again here, this piece down. So this piece has to go down this way. But with the vise that I have, and only a vise, I can't quite get the leverage I need, even with a mallet, because what will happen is I start bending back the other one. All right, guys, so I've officially given up on this project. I can't get that second bend. I just don't have machinery to do it. I need like a sheet metal bender or something, because blocks and vise is just not doing the trick. So I have slight bends. It's not as high as I'd like it to be. It's almost straight down, so it's almost just like I could have just bent it straight down, because I can't get that second bend right here to come up as high as I need it to be to bring the license plate, the whole thing, up just a little higher and tighter to the exhaust. So let's see what it looks like down on the ground. But from here, you know, it doesn't look bad. It's just how much of it is going to be visible when I sit on it. Because here, it's okay. But in the process of doing this whole thing, trying to tighten up the bolts on the back of the cans or on the muffler, I successfully sheared off one of these bolts. So the bolt here is completely sheared off on the inside, I guess onto the baffle that's in there. So I'm gonna have to see if I can get a hold of Toce and see if they can supply me with something to fix this. I don't know if I need a whole new canister or what. Maybe I could just get a new bolt if I can get the bad one out. I don't know. So I'm gonna ask them, see what they have to say. I hope it's something easy. I'm not sure how long it's been since the first part of this video, but when I was attaching the bracket back on, this nut right here, the screw that's captive, it's welded in to the baffle, and this is just a nut that secures it in there. I tightened this down, and I didn't even tighten it that much. It was like hand tight, just tight, not over tight. Snapped the bolt. So I'm like, all right, great. Hopefully it's just an easy screw I can fix. Now, come to find out it's welded in there. So I talked to the people over at Toce, and this is going back to the beginning of July. I was talking with the people at Toce, and I'm like, look, this thing broke. I haven't had it that long. I didn't over tighten it. Maybe it's a defect. I don't know. Could you help me out? I mean, what can I do to get this thing replaced? But in those talks, I also asked them about, you know, you guys make a dB killer for your other Toce exhausts, right? If somebody don't want it as loud as they come, and they sound good, they're loud, right? But what I found with this exhaust, maybe it's my particular helmet, I don't know, I haven't tried it in other helmets, but it just drones. It drones pretty good at certain rev ranges. And while that's not that big of a deal, trying to motovlog with that, with the microphone piped into your helmet, no matter what I did, it just was picking up that droning, and it was just messing up the audio. You could probably hear some of that in the very first vlog I did if you watched it. So I said, guys, I know you don't offer one on the website, but can you make one? Can you do this? They said they get a lot of requests for them, and there are people out there who do make them. They just don't make them. The guy told me he doesn't know why they don't stock them, but they can make them. I'm like, look, guy, can you help me out? Can you make me one of these and see if I can get rid of some of this drone in my helmet? So it took a while, a lot of back and forth, and I always plug them in all my videos and my posts and stuff. So they did me a solid. They got me made the dB killer. So it killed two birds with one stone. And what it did was, they sent me a new baffle, which is what I needed because that screw that is welded in there, I needed a new one anyway. And they plugged it. So what they do, it's still wrapped and everything the same way, and I've already installed it because it just slides in. There's nothing to it. You literally pull the old one out, slide the new one in, and then attach the nuts to it. So it's nothing. So as you can see here, I left this side open and put the capped side on the right side. I did that because the spring here is a pain in the ass to get hooked back up, and I figured if I ever needed to take it out again, I could just easily undo these two, slide these out, and put another one in if I ever got the other bolt fixed. So, but let me show you real quick what this thing looks like. This is how it comes. It came in this plastic sleeve, and it's wrapped up with some sort of insulation and tape, and that's where the two screws are actually just attached on, and you can see where this other one actually snapped off. So that's what it looks like. Snapped off inside of there. It is what it is. So now that I got this DB killer in, I'm just gonna place some side-by-side before and after of the exhaust factory, no DB killer, and the after, how it sounds now with the DB killer. To me, it sounds good. It's still loud, it's still throaty, but it just doesn't hit as many drone notes that I got before. So inside my helmet is a lot more tame, it's more quiet. So the point of this video was supposed to be bending this license plate bracket to get it where I have it, pretty much where I have it now, but now it's turned into a DB killer video. So I'm gonna play the clip from before of the first factory install of what this sounded like starting up, and here it is after the DB killer. Alright guys, you can see that with the DB killer installed, just the idle sitting here is a lot lower in frequency, not as loud. You can tell from the initial video when I started talking about how good it sounded from startup, I had to talk a lot louder to project over the sound of the exhaust. It didn't sound bad, it was loud, it sounded good, but now it's a lot more tame on an idle. Wearing a helmet, it doesn't drone nowhere near as bad, it's not as loud inside the helmet, so it just works. And if I was Toce, I would just start selling these. I don't know why they wouldn't. So I already knew Toce made great exhausts. The sound of it is great. It sounds great. It just was too much in my helmet that droned. And you have a Grom and you have this exhaust, it's too much for you, reach out, see if they can make you one, see if you can find one online. But it definitely does the trick. It still sounds good. You heard me roll the throttle at a decent RPM. It's still throaty, it still pops, it's just more tame. It still sounds great, just more tame. So all right guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.